Androidizen Live Xbox One. So we're basically playing our way through Xbox One games for a bit. Do let me know in the comments if there's anything you'd like to see on the Xbox One, and also do let me know if you're having any problems with the audio or anything like that. If you can't hear me properly, do let me know in the comments. It does help massively to fine-tune things. The Xbox One has been out now for a couple of weeks, and it's a pretty good console overall. Especially when it's listening to me all of the time when I'm talking about it. Xbox, I'm talking about you. No, not the guide, thanks. Thanks though, Xbox, thank you. The main thing with the Xbox One is its Kinect features, which in my opinion still feel a little bit limited right now. It's certainly nice to have games that are, making better use of that functionality. Xbox, stop listening. But even so, it seems to be a bit limited at the moment within games and so on. It's nice to have, but I don't find myself using it all that often. So we're playing a little bit of Forza here, and the main thrust of Forza, as it were, is obviously a great racing experience. In my opinion, it's now the kind of pinnacle racing game. Gran Turismo dropped the ball over on the PlayStation with Gran Turismo 5, and if you kind of want that real racing experience, then you really need to be playing Forza these days, at least until GT6 comes out, and then we'll see what that offers. Hopefully not an experience that takes 7 years to actually get released, but we'll see. I do have the driving assist turned on at the moment. I meant to turn them off, but I forgot. Oopsie. Do send this stream to your friends. That's another thing you can really do to help. The more people we have watching live, the more live shows we're encouraged to do. It's as simple as that. So this will be our 7th or 8th live show now, and we have a pretty good turnout from all over the world. So if you are finding this entertaining, if you've got friends that are interested in the Xbox One, do send this stream over to them. You can do it quite easily from the share options on the YouTube video, or grab the link from your browser bar and send it on. Google Plus, if you do drop a comment, do send it to Google Plus as well. Quick and easy way to let lots of people know about this little live play that we're doing. Do let me know if there's any problems with the live stream at all, any hitching or problems with the audio, anything like that, and I'll take a quick look and see if I can do something about it. I'm currently in second, so if I hadn't clipped that corner, should be able to catch this guy up. Got plenty of time. One thing I found with Forza 5 is it is quite easy to be aggressive into the corners and really make up time on those lead cars. Probably my biggest tip is turn off the assisted steering and everything like that and just go for it. As long as you know where to brake, then you'll be absolutely fine. My wife likes playing with the assists on, which is why they're on at the moment. Do need to turn them off though in a minute. The only thing I leave on is the braking line, just because when you're going that fast, it is actually quite difficult as you're switching between cars to know where the braking zones are, as it were, and you can quite easily end up in a wall. Come on, Deuce, you're going down. Now, all of the cars that you race against are using something known as drivatar, which is basically like an algorithm that it watches how you yourself play, how you drive the car, etc., how aggressive you are, how you take your corners, and then it uses that data to create a virtual representation of yourself that other drivers around the world, other players, will race against. And it works pretty well. You can turn up the difficulty, which is quite nice. So usually I run it on difficulty, I think, is it normal? Might be normal or semi-pro or whatever it is, which gives you a 10% credit bonus at the end of a race. And makes things a bit challenging. Otherwise, unfortunately, you end up just with a big pack of cars and you can overtake them in half a lap. And then it's just plain sailing from there. And I like a little bit more of a challenge. One thing that I really can't stand on racing games is the third person, call it over the car view. I find it really difficult to play the game, even if it does kind of give you a bit more of that, ooh, look at the graphics, look how shiny everything is. But it's actually quite difficult to play like that. Don't know about you, how do you guys like playing your racing games? Are you more into the in-car view, or front bumper, or extreme front bumper, as it were? Personally, I prefer it like this. It's a bit more arcadey. I spent far too much time playing Ridge Racer, I think. Lots of debate amongst my friends on which is the best camera mode to use. The guy that first got me into racing like this has now gone back to using the third person mode. I was ripping him about it the other day. He knows who he is. It's like, yeah, all the stick you gave me, oh, you're not driving properly, you're not playing the game properly, third person mode's too easy, etc, etc. Well, no, you've gone back to third person mode. Basil. He'll actually be working today, so unfortunately he can't hear me ripping him. What a shame. But overall, I mean, Forza 5 is definitely one of those games that, as a launch title on Xbox, really shows off what the console's going to be capable of. I was quite disappointed to see the number of launch titles that weren't really running at 1080p. They were using anything between sort of 720 and 900. And it's a bit of a shame, really, for a flagship console to have that kind of limitation imposed on it. It doesn't make a massive difference when you're sat in front of your TV, but as I am now sat in front of a monitor, about sort of 2.5 foot away from the screen, you can notice a difference in games like Battlefield, especially in multiplayer, and you really kind of see the drop in resolution and the texture quality, sadly. Excuse me. But it shows that the Xbox is capable of these higher resolutions without any problem. Forza 5, no issue. I think Ryse Son of Rome, again, is also 1080p. Hang on. To say on the back of the box for that. Ryse Son of Rome, by the way. Normally they say, unless Microsoft changed their mind. No, decided not to write it on the back of the box. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's new. Normally they'll say what the effective resolution is on there, but never mind. Oh, level 40. Oh, 39, nearly. So, like I say, do let me know in the comments. They're right there next to the live stream. Let me know what you'd like me to take a look at. I've got a complete set of games here. We've got Battlefield 4, we've got Dead Rising, Forza 5, obviously, that you're watching at the moment. What else we got? Ryse Son of Rome, Killer Instinct, FIFA 14. You're not getting me playing that in a million years. Well, not unless you send me money. Send me money and I will happily play FIFA 14, but otherwise, no, afraid not. It's an awful game. In fact, it's one of the worst games I think ever made. Sorry, worst game series ever made. It sucks beyond belief. So we're now off to Belgium for the Circuit de Spa. One thing that I'm a bit disappointed with Forza is lack of tracks. There's only 14 tracks, and Nuremberg is missing. It's AWOL. Apparently going to be released in the new year. For my mind, I don't really want to have to pay money for more tracks. They should just have been included. It kind of sticks in the throat a little bit, that one. Right, anyway, let's turn off the... Oops. Turn off these assists. Yeah, leave cosmetic damage on. Right, let's go for it. Here we go. My next rival is Fuckwin, apparently. I say all the drivers that are... Ooh, okay, I've turned the assists off. Whoops. Let's restart that. I could have used the Y to rewind, but you lose some credits doing it, so I tend to only do that if I'm quite a fair way through a race and then screw up, or someone screws me up by banging into me. Must remember, all assists are now turned off. Alright, let's see if we can survive the first corner this time, shall we? Oof. Forza 5's multiplayer is quite good as well. adds a bit of extra sort of unpredictability, because the driver cars do tend to follow fairly set paths. You won't suddenly see them sort of careening off a corner or anything like that particularly. Oops, like that. Oopsie. One of the great things with Forza is you can just rewind time if you need to, correct that little mistake you made if you lost a bit of time on a corner, or obviously crashed up the back end of somebody. Try and muscle my way through here if I can. Ooh. Here we go. Nearly. Always an Alfa Romeo in front of me. Okay, brake, 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 brake. Wall. Must remember driving assists are off. Yeah, let's rewind that again, shall we? Oh, cone. Xbox, record that. My Xbox hates me, I'm sure it does. Oh, God. It's actually the first time I've used the Jaguar XJS without the assist turned on. And yeah, she's not exactly very good at braking. Ah! Oh, very wide, but kept it on the track. I should get one of those bumper stickers, shouldn't I? 1-800, how's my driving? You suck. Some slipstream on this guy. Oh, stay off the grass. Oh, thank you for the assisted braking. Whoa, 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 whoa! Twitchy, twitchy, twitchy. I've got the stability turned down as well, so the back end does like to twitch out if you're a bit too aggressive with it. Like that. Oh well. God blimey. This Jaguar is very, very slippy and twitchy. Doesn't like going around corners. Come on, KD12, you're in my way now. Let's be having you. Oh, do let me know in the comments if there's anything particular about Forza 5 you'd like to know, anything you'd like me to show off. We haven't got the top tier of cars unlocked just yet, I'm afraid. They are insanely expensive, like 2.5 to 3 million a piece. And unfortunately, it does look like Microsoft would really love you to put your hand in your pocket and buy credits that you can use to unlock the cars quicker if you really want to. Of course, you can play through the game, build up your money, etc. God, Jesus! Gotta keep this car away from the curbside, because as soon as it hits them, it goes. Come on. Ah! Twitchy, twitchy, twitchy car. Probably my favourite car I found so far is the Atom, which is a British-made road sports car with just incredible performance under it. I mean, it sticks to the road like glue. It doesn't have the best top-line speed, but in my opinion, it beats absolutely any car in corners. Incredible piece of kit. You may remember it from such TV programmes as Top Gear. It's the one that Jeremy Clarkson was rightly terrified of afterwards. It's the one that pulled his skin back over his face when he was driving it. An incredibly fast little car. And in Forza 5 it's the most up-to-date model, which has a V8 engine in it, and it's just ridiculously fast. Like I say, its cornering power is just immense. I'd like something a bit better than third place here. Gah! Wrong way! Xbox, record that! One of the key features of Xbox One is being able to record little game clips as you're playing. So you can just quickly and easily grab a bit of footage, don't have to touch a button, just say Xbox record that, and you get the last sort of 30, oh god, I should have braked, last 30 seconds or so of footage. It's incredibly difficult to talk and drive at the same time. I don't know how people do it in a real car. Maybe because they're not doing 50 into a tyre wall. Whee. So do let me know in the comments, I keep saying this, but let me know if you're having any problems with the audio or the live stream at all. I can only tweak things with your feedback. As there's been no comments so far about the quality of the audio or anything like that, I will take it that everything is okay. But like I say, do let me know if you're having any problems at all, if you can't hear me properly, if the picture's breaking up or anything like that. It could just be your internet connection, or it could be a problem on my end that I need to take a look at. Oh, get off, get off, get off. Whee. I'm down fourth. I'm going to have to fight fairly hard to get into this goal position. By fighting hard, I mean ramming him up the backside. Oh, get out of it. Car sucks for braking. Ah! Oh well. I'll be lucky if I manage to keep fourth here. Get round. Do send this live stream to your friends if they're interested in the Xbox One, or if they're interested in next-gen gaming generally, or just games, you know. Do send this stream on, share it with all your friends. The more people we have watching, the more we're encouraged to produce more live shows. Oh, rewind that. I think we'll put a different game on after this. So, your choice, as it were, viewers. What would you like us to play next? We've got Son of Rome. We've got, obviously, Forza 5 that you're seeing at the moment. We've got Battlefield 4. We've got Killer Instinct. And that's Curb again. Oof, it's a good job the damage model's not on. Oh, look at that. No rewind. No rewind. It's done this before. Maybe I've used them all up. Great. This car just loves being rubbish. Yeah, I think we'll put a different game on. So do let me know, comments, what would you like to see? Son of Rome, Battlefield, Forza, which we're definitely not going to play anymore. Xbox, go home. Xbox, go home. It's sat literally 2 foot away from me, and most of the time it doesn't understand what I'm saying. We have Kinect Sports Rivals, which I cannot get to work. It won't go past the loading screen. Very strange. Just Dance 2014, which I don't have enough room for in my office, I'm afraid. The studio doesn't have a huge amount of room. Let's have a look what else we've got. We've got FIFA 14, which I am definitely not going to be playing because it sucks. And Dead Rising 3. So, let me know. You've got a couple of minutes to drop a comment. Let me know what you'd like to see me play next. There is a full set of apps that you get with the Xbox One as well. Twitch TV is available there, SkyDrive, Skype, YouTube, and in the Upload Studio and so on. I mean, the interface is pretty good, to be fair. It's not the worst I've ever seen, not the best either, but you know, just one of those things, really. It's a case of choose what you really like in interfaces, and then you can guarantee Microsoft and Sony won't deliver it. The PS4 is viable as an interface for browsing around your content, but a bit limited. If I was going to make a suggestion, I would say I'd probably prefer the Xbox tiles. They're just a little bit... I don't know, that they make better use of all of the space that you actually have on screen, where Sony's kind of feels a little sparse. especially on a 1080p screen, for instance. So come on, let me know what you would like me to play next. Dead Rising 3, Ryse Son of Rome, bit of Battlefield, Killer Instinct. Like I say, Just Dance, not got enough room, and FIFA 14, I'm afraid I just refuse to play on principle because it sucks really badly. Just give me one moment, I'm just going to turn my cam off. Let me know in the comments what you would like to see me play next. I'll be right back. Anyone else for Son of Rome? We'll probably have a look at that one next. Let me know any other suggestions that you have for what you'd like us to play on the Xbox One next, and show you a bit of.
Achieved with CryEngine.
I think my green screen has... Oh no, still working. Good, good. So, this is Son of Rome. I am really enjoying this game. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start it from the beginning so that you can get a better sense for it. Let me just turn the audio up a little bit in here, because it's very much a kind of cinematic style game. As titles go, this one really impressed me, and quite a few of the reviews I saw say, oh, it's so repetitive and it's very short. But actually, if you think that a game is short and it's repetitive, you've got a bit of a problem. It can't be both simultaneously. For my mind, the gameplay isn't repetitive, it's part of the kind of cinematic element to the story that's kind of going on here. It is a fairly short game. I'm about 70% of the way through it so far. 8 chapters altogether. Probably at most you're looking at around 6 hours worth of gameplay, but everything is kind of delivered with these gorgeous cutscenes, and even the in-game graphics just look fantastic. And at times I couldn't work out what was full motion video, as in pre-recorded, and what was being rendered in-game. I'm still not completely convinced that this is full motion video, but you can just see some macro blocking that doesn't quite look like it should be coming out from a clean interface, as it were. Oh, cool. An achievement for replaying the opening cinematic. Excellent. The story basically starts at the end, as it were. You meet your persona, as it were, as Nero is about to be, well, killed, and Rome is about to fall to the barbarians. And really, you save Nero, and then you start telling him your story. A nice and simple kind of introduction, but everything in this game just feels so well realised. I mean, I came back from Rome about 2 months ago, and so I've seen things like the Colosseum up close, and the amphitheatres and everything like that, and the Roman forums, and it's quite remarkable how much detail they've managed to capture here. It really feels like a lived-in city of Rome, and the world just feels fantastic. It really, really does. It's probably one of the most brilliantly realised games that I've played in a long time. You'll see what I mean about the what is cutscene and what is in-game footage in a minute. It's quite difficult to tell. So now we're in game.
see it, they'll run. The battle will be ours.
So this is Ryse Son of Rome. It's a launch title on Xbox One, and it's probably, in my opinion, one of the best kind of titles for really showing how the Xbox is going to stack up this year. Unfortunately, we have to do a little bit of this tutorial rubbish as we're going through here. Effectively, there are a couple of different buttons that you have to press depending on context. Everything is very contextual in this game, including the finishing moves, which play out like a series of kind of quick time events. But effectively what you have to do is block, parry, and then break the attacks of these barbarians. Now you can do that by basically just slashing away at them, or, whoops, as you'll see in a minute when two of them start attacking me. Hang on. Let's see if we can get this going. Right, here we go. So these are, every time you reduce a character you're fighting against down to minimal health, you can execute a killing blow, as it were, and they play out as these really cool little cutscenes of sort. But it's all happening in game, and it just feels incredibly cinematic. As the game actually progresses, those become kind of more and more uber, and you can actually get to a point where you're basically doing finishing moves on two guys simultaneously, and it just looks awesome. It really does. It's like something right out of a Jackie Chan movie, as it were. Everything like jumping up ledges and so on, it's all handled automatically and taken contextually. So if you can jump up a surface, then you can jump up the surface, and it'll just happen automatically when you walk near it. So there's no kind of jump button or anything like that to kind of worry about. One of the things you do have to do is you have to watch when characters are about to strike you and deflect. By deflecting them, you open up their defences and you can then kill them. But even down to how the finishing moves operate, it's all contextual. If I happen to be stood behind a character, then I'll execute him from behind, and it changes the kind of finishing moves that become available. You see there I was able to kick away a ladder, prevents any more reinforcements. And you notice the characters actually flash blue or yellow, and that actually indicates which button I need to be pressing to execute the move properly. If I execute the chain correctly, then what I get is a bonus, and I've got these various bonuses here that are available on the D-pad. Ooh, get off. Those bonuses are basically things like additional damage. They can be health, which tops my health back up. Oops. They can also fill my focus meter, which does this. It basically stuns everything around me and then allows me to attack incredibly fast, building up a massive number of combos. And I can use this to basically whip between, say, 4 or 5 different enemies, knock all of their health down really, really low, and then just finish them all off with a nice flurry of combo finishing moves. And as you can see, the graphics are just fantastic. Definitely not a game for kids, this one. It does exhibit all of the full kind of brutal mentality of the Romans. Quite visceral, actually, in places. But we need to get into the palace so we can rescue Nero. Ooh, you see, if I fail to parry properly, then I take some additional damage. The only thing I would say is I wish the finishing moves played out a little bit quicker. If there was a way that you could kind of learn those combos and just kind of tap them straight in. Fire volley! Another one of the really cool features of this game, and one of the ones that really makes use of Kinect in a way that's slightly surprising, and in my opinion kind of shows where Kinect could actually be used. I could have just pressed a button there, but I would have to fiddle with the button, etc. Or I can just say fire. You can also fire catapults and all sorts of different things. And you know, it's all kind of contextual. It happens at certain points within the game, so it's not like you can do it all of the time. But it does add something a little bit extra, and it's just kind of cool, you know? Right, so now we can move to a muster point, and we can basically order the troops. So I'll tell them to form a line there. And now basically we've got some barrels that we can destroy. There's these kind of moments which are kind of set towards being just set play pieces like you would get from Call of Duty kind of thing, but it's done quite nicely and it handles quite well. So if I kick over these various things, and basically they're just environmental damage that I can use. Fire volley. So I could there just press left bumper if I wanted to, or as I'm going to do, make use of, oops, yes, get rid of those guys off there. You will see a slight drop in frame rate. Fire volley for some scenes, but it tends to be in these kind of more big expansive scenes when you're fighting up close and personal. No real drops in frame rate. You know, whenever you're dealing with fire in games and then physics modelling as well, then you can find that you will get some drops in frame rate, unfortunately. You get it on PC as well. Games are not perfect like that, sadly. Fire volley. Fire volley. Could really do with those catapults getting themselves available. Fire volley. I find it helps if you kind of do it with enthusiasm. Do you know what I mean? If you just go fire volley, it's just not the same. Fire volley. Kind of awesome if I could do it in Latin, but I don't know Latin. If you hear a lot of background noise, by the way, I'm not sure if you're picking up any of that, hopefully you're not. Fire volley. It's because we've got a huge amount of storm going on here at the moment. Lots of rain and 55-mile-an-hour wind. Catapult, fire. Let's see how they do against some catapult, shall we? Incoming. That's the way to do it. And you can see there, you know, there is a drop in frame rate without a shadow of a doubt. Whoa, there you go. The character modelling, though, is just exceptional. It really is. The character you're playing, some of the kind of moments where it's in-game like this, but he's talking and you can see his face moving, and it just amazing. It really is. You can upgrade your character as well. So if we come into here, I've currently got 41,000 points that I can spend. So let's have more focus. You can also change your XP gain as well, and also combat moves, which I've not actually been bothering with, funnily enough. It's just not felt all that important as I've been playing through. It was more important to have plenty of health and allow my focus meter to really fill up. Alright, let's get back to it. So as I say, do let me know in the comments if there's anything you'd like me to show you in Son of Rome, if there's any particular gameplay elements you're interested in, and do send this stream on to your Twitter followers, your Facebook groups, and your Google+. Many people watching as possible, it's all good, and it encourages us to film more of these live shows. But do also let me know if you're having any problems in the comments with the audio quality or anything like that, if my voice is too low or you can't quite hear the game sound properly. So we've now met Emperor Nero, who's a bit of a portly looking man. Obviously been enjoying the finer things of Rome, whilst he watched the barbarians burn it down. Great. Right, here we go. Right, what I actually want to do here is I want to gain more focus for later. You kind of have to be a little bit careful as you're going through. Ooh, blocky. Right, let's have you. So what you can see now is basically a double kill. So there I was able to execute two guys simultaneously, and it all plays out within the game engine really nicely. Ooh, he's lost an arm. As I say, I mean, this is, you know, a pretty bloody game, not one that, oops, you're going to be wanting to give to the kids this Christmas, I wouldn't have thought. Just a little bit too gruesome. But certainly a great adult title to have on Xbox One. I think Microsoft probably got the best mix going on, really, between kind of casual and hardcore games at launch. Sony has very much gone for the hardcore elements. Come on. Anyone else feeling brave? So when you're in a fight where there's kind of multiple guys coming at you, the A button is your friend, because as they kind of wind up their strike, you can just flick A and block immediately. And it does make a massive difference. If you don't, then when you've kind of got 4 or 5 guys surrounding you, you die very quickly. Very, very quickly, in fact. Just give me 1 second while I quickly send a tweet. Oops. Back in 1 moment, guys. So with this guy, he's all about the fire, and I'm all about being low on health, so we'll just have to finish this guy off quite quickly. To switch between the various... Got him. To switch between the various kind of power-ups you get for completing executions, you just use the D-pad, and you just flick between them. It works pretty easily, and you can actually execute that at any point, which is good. So even if you're kind of part-way through a finishing move and you suddenly realise you need more health, then you just flick it on. And as long as you do it before the execution runs, then you'll get that bonus. But it's a good example of the graphical quality here. The facial animation work is just top-notch. Hats off to Microsoft's developers on this one. It really is a cracking title.
Oh, and what great oracle told you this, General?
My father. We will be safe here.
Matt, I would say it's closer to Batman Arkham than it is to Assassin's Creed. It's not really an open world game. It's very, very, well, it's entirely linear, in fact. Fighting style is much closer to Batman, but obviously with fewer Batman-style game mechanics. But yeah, very, very, very similar to Batman. I would say they looked at that and said, well, there is a system that works, and let's make really good use of that. The finishing moves, though, really do add something quite special, I think, to this game. It just makes the thing feel so much more engaging. If they didn't have the finishing moves there, then it would be a very dull trudge of a game, I would have thought. It would really kind of suffer as just a button basher. But those finishing moves, they break up the combat, and they just make the thing feel like a really good fun game. So I ended up playing it for about 3 or 4 hours the other night. Didn't realise I was so sort of drawn into the story and the gameplay that I just kept on playing it. Right up until the point where I was like, okay, I need to go to bed. It was just a really wonderfully fun game.
Do you know where you're to be posted?
Alexandria.
Alexandria, that's a quiet place.
I didn't join the army of the bastards.
Also, I keep getting this weird vibe every time I see the character we play up close. He looks a bit like Colin Farrell. It's really strange, but you do get these kind of little moments where it's like, is that Colin Farrell? They've certainly modelled the guy on some well-known actors, in my opinion, because there's just these little moments. Is it Colin Farrell or Colin Firth, or both? No. Who's that other guy? They kind of look the same. I don't know. Anyway, is Colin Firth, or is it Colin Farrell? I don't know. Anyway, he looks like some dude we see in the movies anyway, and it works very nicely for it. Unfortunately, the animations on the ladies, not particularly good. But then, I won't spoil the story for you particularly, but she isn't going to live very long. Right, where are we going? Oh, right. So now apparently I have to defeat my dad. Well, I'm not going to. We're going to go and jump into something a little bit more challenging. Let's head over to a later set of gameplay. This is as far as I've got so far. I think chapter 5 or 6.
So fearsome that even Rome's elite legions had failed to conquer them. Oswald's foreboding.
Yeah, the game does seem to have microtransactions in there, Shifter Dude. One of the things that I've noticed with all of the first-party titles coming out of Microsoft, and I believe this is fairly similar for Sony as well, is, you know, microtransactions, in-game purchases, etc. And they pretty much seem to be a case of, look, you could play through the game if you wanted to, but instead here, hand over some additional money, so you've already paid for your game, and you can unlock stuff quicker. Back in the day, we would call them cheat codes. Now apparently they're a money-making opportunity. So there you go. I don't like seeing them in premium titles. It's as simple as that. In-app purchases and so on do not have a place in premium games costing 50, 60 quid. It's simply wrong, in my opinion, especially when that's then mixed with download content, which will cost you, you know, where they do like packs, where you get, for Forza, for instance, get a new track and 5 cars. Well, hang on a second, that content probably should have been in the game originally, you know? A lot of the content for games is developed simultaneously, so really they just make a business decision as to which content they're going to remove that they think people will pay for as DLC. When you mix that in with microtransactions to allow you to unlock cars earlier, or in the case of Ryse, boost your character up if you're having trouble, it just feels wrong, in my opinion. It really, really shouldn't be there. Like I say, if we're dealing with a free-to-play game, something like PlanetSide 2 on PlayStation 4 and PC, which in my opinion nails microtransactions beautifully, here, have the entire game for free. If you want cosmetics, then pay us a bit of money. That is how microtransactions should work. It shouldn't be a case of pay to win. Or pay to level up your character to the very highest levels, and then you can win. In some respects, it's taking a lot of the skill out of games that used to exist. If you were rubbish at a game, well, don't expect to complete the damn thing. Simple as that. Practice. But what we have now is a situation where, you know, if even on easy you either can't be bothered to complete the game or get stuck, then put your hand in your pocket and get a boost, effectively. The problem is, it may lead to developers tuning their games in such a way that you can't complete them on certain difficulties without putting your hand in your pocket. We've seen it on Android and on mobile games a little too often, and my concern is that that will become commonplace on next-gen consoles as well. Like I say, PlanetSide 2 has nailed it beautifully for what microtransactions should be and how they should work in a free-to-play title. Really, we should be seeing that even in, you know, full-price games as well. Cosmetics cost. Everything else is there to be earned, and that's long and short of it. It concerns me that we may end up seeing a 1983 style console crash if developers and the console manufacturers do push too heavily on microtransactions to a point where they alienate the player base. It's a similar situation if you just generate large numbers of shovelware games, and effectively people lose confidence in the marketplace and the market crashes. You know, we probably won't see something like that, but it's certainly a possibility. Ryan, this is Ryse Son of Rome on Xbox One. It's a launch title, and it basically follows the story of a Roman soldier becomes centurion, and his story basically fighting for Rome. This part of the game is taking place in Scotland. We've just gone through Britannia for Britain. That was kind of cool as well. One of the things that, you know, being obviously a Brit, we don't really see that many games really focusing on Britain particularly, but with this particular title we even get to see York, which is just 20 miles down the road from me, so it was a really cool kind of moment for me to be able to kind of go and rescue York from the barbarian hordes. And I'm trying not to spoil this game too much because the story is fantastic and it's well worth playing through just for that. Now, we need to get some focus now. It can feel a little bit button bashy if you're actually watching this at home, because realistically I only have a couple of buttons that I'm really making use of, but it's the combinations of those buttons that you've really got to watch. Like I say, the A button is very much used for your defensive purposes, for intercepting their blows. Y used to basically bash them with your shield, open up an attack, and then X to basically run them through. Once you've reduced the health enough, you can then carry out an execution move. But on the guys with shields, whoa, nearly. When a character flashes a particular colour, that's one I've not seen before. Like I say, all of these finishing moves are contextual, so depending on where you happen to be, for instance, if you're at the edge of a ledge, he'll do a move which allows him to basically throw him off the ledge. If you happen to have them pushed up against a wall, then you'll bash them in the face with their shield, with your shield, so it knocks them against the wall, then run them through. Everything works really contextually, and it just adds this kind of cinematic quality. Shifter Dude, I'm in the UK. Like I say, guys, please do send this stream over to your friends. The more people we have watching, the better. Encourages us to keep making more of these. Now then, where am I going? Just through there. Even the environment is incredibly well detailed. When you see the kind of trees and branches moving, everything is just so well modelled. It's probably one of the most beautiful looking world environments I've played in a game for a long time. One thing to note is this is CryEngine 3 as well, so this is the first... Ooh, traps. This is the first game to use CryEngine 3, I believe, obviously on the next gen consoles, and something tells me Epic and the Unreal Engine are going to have a run for their money this time round. CryEngine is absolutely gorgeous, and one of the complaints I had with the previous CryEngine 2 was the modelling of faces just looked rubbery. It just didn't quite have that kind of, it was stepping into Uncanny Valley a little too often. And again, that's something that, in some respects I've had problems with the Unreal Engine as well. But, oops, I missed that. Let's just knock him out with that. With CryEngine 3, it just looks phenomenal. Which way am I going? Don't think it's that way, actually. So even jumping over logs and things like that, all contextual, you just run up to it and he does it. No extra button required for that. This isn't going to end well. This is where I'll really need to use those parry abilities as their strikes come in. And follow up with a few hits. And you've kind of just got to reduce their health of each of these guys a little bit at a time. If I can. Oops, no. We're going to have to try and execute a focus move here. Got it. Who's next? Even the odds a bit. Because the enemy I was doing a finishing move on there was just facing the wrong way from me. It executed the move from behind, which is basically quicker. So you can play it fairly tactically as well if you really want to. If you want to make these moves quite quick, just get them over with, try and get behind the character that you want to execute. Off it goes. You can see there I'm using a health boost, so when I do a finishing move, it refills my health for me. Oh god. The one thing I don't like in this game are archers. They're a complete pain in the backside. Ow. Have I got anything? No. There must be some spikes somewhere I can make use of, but it doesn't look like it. Get into these guys. Right, let me know what game you'd like me to play next. We've got Battlefield 4, we've got Forza 5 that I was playing a little bit earlier, so maybe choose something else. We've got Dead Rising 3, and we've got Killer Instinct. And obviously this is Ryse Son of Rome. You don't have to use finishing moves, you can just chop your way through them. I do need a bit of health back now though. If you long press on X or Y, then you'll perform a heavier duty attack, but you don't usually have enough time in most fights to actually pull those off. So, like I say, do let me know what you'd like to play next. Battlefield 4, Dead Rising 3, Killer Instinct, or we can go back and do a bit of Forza. If you press the left thumbstick down, you run. Also should make mention of the new controller as well, which is very, very good in my opinion. I have a slightly bad hand due to a Guitar Hero injury. I played too much Guitar Hero and injured my hand. But that meant that I, for a long time, couldn't actually use an Xbox 360 controller. I ended up doing a lot of PlayStation gaming instead because the controller was lighter and much better in my hand. Ooh, that was a heavy blow. But what I found with the new controller is it's perfectly acceptable. I can play for many hours without encountering any major issues. I'm going to have to try and do something here because these big guys are really gnarly. Right, let's get some focus. Sure what happened to that guy. I think his own dude killed him. So when the guys have shields, you've basically got to open up their attack by bashing them. Oh, gonna need some health back soon. Alright, so Battlefield 4. Do we want multiplayer, which may or may not work reliably, or do we want some single player? Entirely up to you guys. So Xbox, go home. Xbox, go home. Thank you, Xbox. I do feel the need to talk to it from time to time. So like I say, let's boot up a bit of Battlefield, and we will hopefully, let's try a multiplayer game, shall we? I'm just going to take a quick break while this boots up, just because it's quite difficult to carry on talking the whole time. So next up, Battlefield, let's do some multiplayer. I will be back in 2 moments. we can get a game of Conquest going for the Levolution stuff, which does look incredibly cool, and it's only on next-gen consoles, not even on PC, which is annoying. Levolution is basically like a physics-based thing where buildings can collapse and the environment will change dynamically over time. And, you know, it works pretty well, but it's only available on next-gen consoles, which really disappointed me as a PC gamer with a ridiculously powerful PC, that, you know, they couldn't do that physics mapping on PC for whatever reason. Who knows why? Alright, let's get back to it, shall we? Just waiting for this to load up. If it loads, DICE are still having ridiculous amounts of problems with the Battlefield game, even though they decided they were going to release an expansion pack, China Rising, anyway. Nothing like launching an add-on pack, even though your game is still effectively broken. But anyway, if we can get into this game, it's always a possibility, I suppose. Either that or it may have crashed again. Unfortunately, Battlefield multiplayer on all formats, it doesn't matter whether you're talking PC, next gen or previous gen, the multiplayer is atrociously buggy, and it all seems to be server stability issues. DICE have this thing which I used to agree with, but I'm starting to no longer agree with, that dedicated servers are the way they do things. That basically means that they provide the server client to server administrators. They can set up their own Battlefield servers, and then DICE basically gathers those together in the server browser. In theory, that should provide a better overall experience for everyone, because the people connecting to that server, ping-wise, should all have generally the same level of ping. The way that Call of Duty does it, and I think we're going to have to restart that, the way that Call of Duty does it is to basically do the matchmaking directly on the console itself, so the console becomes the server. Now, that's a better system in some respects because it makes the matchmaking easier, and if the matchmaking system is working well, then the latency shouldn't be too bad. Where it becomes a problem, however, is if you have laggy connections or Xbox Live has issues, then, you know, things have become more difficult. DICE have their own networking code that they really, really like to use, and they like the dedicated server approach. Let's just go for a bit of Rush. Might be easier to get actually working. One of the things that really irritated me with the next gen consoles is air superiority and capture the flag is only available to premium members, which will mean you forking out another 40 quid. So I've paid my £45 for Battlefield, and then if I want all of the content that's actually available, sat right there, most likely sat on the disc, I'll have to fork out another 40 quid for premium. And I just really don't like the sound of that at all. Fair enough, it gets you all of the expansion packs and everything else, but it's another 40 quid. On PC, those game modes are included. Do you know what I mean? And it's a weird thing that console gamers apparently are being told that, you know, their premium money, which is usually about 15 quid more than a PC gamer, it's not worth as much. That's weird. Really, really strange. Here we go. Alright, so this is Rush. And as game modes go, it's quite a fast-paced game. It's a little bit close to Call of Duty, in my opinion, for the kind of style of it. Small maps, in comparison to the really big Conquest-style maps. And the respawn timer is basically nil, so when you die, you can jump straight back in almost immediately. Very, very short pause, basically. In the Conquest game modes, you've got, I think it's a 5-second timer, it might be a 10-second timer. Grab ourselves a buggy. Now, bear in mind that Battlefield 4 on Xbox One is running at 1280 720p and upscaled to 1080. You then combine that with the tweaks that have to be made for multiplayer games when they're supporting large numbers of players, and it does unfortunately lead to a world that doesn't quite look as awesome as it could do. Certainly the game looks better on PlayStation 4 and PC. The effective quality of the game, effectively, if you look at the PC version, which can run on ultra settings, the next gen consoles have been pegged at around about the high settings on PC, just to give you a bit of comparison, as it were. I think I'm going to hop in this APC. Do let me know if you can hear me okay, if there's any problems at all with the live stream. Just drop me a comment and I can take a quick look. And also please do share this with your friends. The more people we have watching the stream, the bigger the encouragement to carry on making these live broadcasts, which do, take up a fair amount of time, as you might expect, and a ridiculous amount of equipment. One of the things that I was really disappointed with both consoles is that neither of them support YouTube streaming. Now, whether that's because Google wouldn't allow them to, or whether it was just because they really want to push for Twitch, I don't know. But even Microsoft didn't bother to get Twitch gaming at launch, unfortunately. Where is he? Have I got an alternative weapon in here? I have, good. Somebody just parked a helicopter right there. Alright, what we got? I'm getting out of this vehicle before it blows up. Nothing more embarrassing than being caught on 14% with a rocket. Let's take this guy from in here. I'm currently using the M14, I believe. Oof, oof, how did I survive that? Right, I'm going to lie low for a minute, try and get a bit of health back. Maybe I'll catch a few guys as they're running across. Unfortunately, Battlefield's one of those games where you've kind of got to concentrate a fair old bit, or you just keep getting shot. Where did that come from? One thing that I will never get used to on consoles is auto-aim. As a lifelong PC gamer and someone who played an awful lot of Quake 2, etc. Anyone else play Quake 2 back in the day? I am very much a mouse and keyboard jockey, and sometimes, unfortunately, playing first-person shooters on consoles is either experiencing the game being too damn easy, a la COD. Here we go, here's some Levolution. There comes the dam. And now the kind of map is changing a little bit. Because we've now got a bit of destruction going on. And if we go up here, you see bits of the environment have kind of changed. And that's very much a hallmark of the Levolution technology. The idea is that, the battle map will change, not just sort of cosmetically, as it were, but violently, like the whole dam coming down. And that's only available on the next-gen consoles. If you play this game on PC, unfortunately you will not have those features. I'm going to die. Oh, nearly. Do let me know in the comments if there's anything particular in Call of Duty and Battlefield 4 you want me to check out. And do please send this stream on to your friends. What's everyone thinking of the graphics quality, as it were? I know you're seeing this in a second-hand stream, as it were. But if any of you have played it on PC or on PlayStation 4, what are you thinking of the quality on the Xbox? You are getting a 1080p stream, so you're getting something very close to what I'm seeing here. If you're running it at 1080p, there'll just be a slight drop in the bitrate. The idea behind Rush is to, it's very similar to Headquarters, I think it's the best way to put it. But it allows you to attack various objectives. The opposing side has to defend. You have a set number of tickets. When those tickets are exhausted, you lose, or you have to fight all of the way down to the other end of the enemy's capture points, as it were. And normally there's 6 capture points altogether, if memory serves. Every time you complete a set of capture points, two at a time, then your tickets will be refilled. Oh, that's going to hurt. Bail out. Oh, did you see that? Xbox, record that. Record that. My Xbox hates me. Record that. Xbox, record that. Xbox, do as you're told. Anyway. I'm not sure why I was recording that clip, because obviously I'm recording it directly to YouTube anyway. Oh. Got hit by a guy coming up the stairs. Chicken dinner, but with no chicken dinner. So you can see there we hit 6 of 6 objectives, and the defenders' tickets were reduced down to 75 by the time they'd kind of finished. At this point, typical Battlefield, we then get some upgrades, etc. We get to level up our character, depending on how well we've done. May unlock some new weaponry, etc. But not on this occasion. What we got? Yeah, no unlocks. And scoreboard, how did I do? 5 for 5. Not particularly awesome, was it? It does bring me on to a slightly strange thing. You can see my microphone's actually active there. The Kinect is basically picking up what I'm talking about, even though I've not got a headset plugged in. It's really irritating. I've noticed it in a fair few games. Something Microsoft really need to fix. If you've got your headset plugged in or not plugged in, Kinect should not be listening in the lobbies. Simple as that. We've heard quite a few embarrassing conversations going on in between lobbies, unfortunately, when we've been playing things like Forza, and it's an own goal from Microsoft's point of view, because obviously people's privacy is being compromised, and you know, Microsoft don't really seem to have a fix for that. Shift to do, it's a difficult one, because we tend to just broadcast when we can, more than anything else, when there's some time available. Can't always broadcast in the evenings, so you know, we tend to just broadcast when we can, and people can always watch the live stream back later on at any time. So yeah, we don't worry about it too much. And you know, we are a UK based show, so you know, trying to play for the UK audience as best we can. It is obviously midweek. I really just wanted to do a bit of a live stream with the Xbox One today. Something a little bit different, break up my routine a little bit, because otherwise I'm constantly producing review videos, etc. And it's sometimes nice just to have a bit of a morning. Come here. Got him. Okay, I'm a sitting duck. But like I say, no, unfortunately, Shifted, you can't mute the Kinect. There's no option anywhere to mute it. It's really irritating. It's one of the things that I think is a substantial flaw currently with the Xbox One at launch. Whether it was a deliberate act on Microsoft's part, whether it was just something they didn't have time to kind of work on, I don't know. But like I say, oops, they really should have disabled that in lobbies. Like I say, it's only in the lobbies. When you're actually in the games, it's muted. Unless you're obviously using your headset, but we're all pinned in here and just respawning on top of each other. There's quite a lot missing from the Kinect, features-wise. The party chat stuff is not working particularly well. You have to keep actually setting up the party chat or it does nothing. Kinect voice commands are ropey at best. You tend to find yourself screaming at it. Whoops. Get back in bounds. You tend to find yourself screaming at the Kinect to get it to actually hear you. As you've seen a few times when I've been trying to say, Xbox, record that. And it doesn't do anything. It's literally sat next to me, is the Kinect. Now maybe it's too close to me, if such a thing could actually exist. But yeah, the Kinect is a great concept, and when used in games, it can be really cool. But it doesn't quite work properly. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't work all of the time, and that's kind of a necessary thing when you're dealing with a voice chat. With a voice interaction system. It has to actually hear you. I think we then just got a squad bonus for when we're in cover, if memory serves. I can't quite remember how we trigger those. How we trigger those. I think it's based on length of time your squad manages to stay alive for and the number of kills you get, or things that you are being assigned to actually destroy, like commands. Oops. And there we have the major problem with Battlefield. It will just quit out. If I try and come back into it, the game is basically dead. So that is the problem. If you get Battlefield 4 this Christmas, with any game, with any console or next-gen system that you care to mention, get ready for it just crashing in multiplayer games. It'll just crash you back to the desktop level, basically to your dashboard, and then you have to reload again. And it's so annoying. So annoying. You know, the guys at DICE, they really do need to fix this before they do any more download content. It just ruins your game. You know, you can be having a really good match, and then for whatever reason, there's an exception within the game code and it dumps you back. The interesting thing though is, unlike the Xbox or 360 or the PlayStation 3, when you get a hard crash in a game, you no longer have to reboot your console or muck around too much. What you can do is come back to your dashboard, and if the game for whatever reason has gone completely unresponsive, press that button there basically on your controller, and you can then come up to quit. And then it will just terminate the entire game. Because the way the Xbox works is to have virtual machines, effectively. So you've got your base hardware, and then there's a software layer that runs 2 operating systems simultaneously. One is this dashboard, and the other one is actually the games. And so if the game crashes, it doesn't take out the whole console. It just takes out that virtual machine running the game. And so you can then still navigate, and if you need to, kill it. I had a request just for a little bit of Forza 5, so we'll bounce back into that. Oops, I have to pop the disc in. I've got quite a few games already kind of stored on the console from downloads, but the 2 games which I haven't got is Forza 5 and Ryse Son of Rome. They're on disc. Interesting thing about the install times on all these games, the way it works is the game will kind of pre-install a chunk of data first to get you playing, and that normally takes sort of 5 to 10 minutes at maximum. And then you can kind of start playing the game, but in a lot of cases that only allows you to play maybe the first 10 to 15 minutes of the game, and then you'll kind of hit a wall where it will basically say, oh, game is still installing. And it's kind of cool, but when we tried this on the PlayStation 4, we just found the games were installed and ready to play within 3 or 4 minutes, if that, and included patching in the background, so you could carry on playing the game, download the patch, then it would patch up. And it felt like, to me, as a friend commented, it's a real role reversal. What we have on the Xbox One is slow install times, slow download times, and a really janky kind of quick start system. Let's actually go and have a look at a bit of multiplayer, shall we? And on the PlayStation, what we have is very fast install times, incredibly fast download times, smaller patches, and games up and running really quickly. And if you remember from previous generation, it's kind of a role reversal that we've got going on. Let's go and have a look, see if we can get an S-Class race going. So, multiplayer matchmaking in Forza 5 is done pretty well, in my opinion. As with all racing games, what you'll find is you have to kind of start the multiplayer match, you'll join a lobby, you have to wait for the race that's currently ongoing to finish, and then you can take part. So hopefully we won't have too long a wait. Here's the cars I've got so far that I've been using that are eligible for this one. So I've got my Corvette, my Lotus, and a few others that will need souping up a little bit. I noticed my Atom's disappeared. It's not available for this one. What we got? Yeah, let's have the Corvette. In progress, 2 to 4 laps. So we'll just hold there for a moment. I'll carry on talking to you while we wait for this match to start. Just give me 1 second, I'll be back. Of you are surprised to actually see me on cam, as it were. I tend to only appear on cam on live shows, So that is where you will find me, as it were. Normally on the pre-recorded stuff you might see little snippets of me, just in background shots and so on, but we very much keep it that you will only see me live, as it were, and that's just kind of how we do the shows, really. We really wanted to make sure that the products, the apps, the games, the smartphones, the consoles, the technology is the star of the show. And realistically get the personality out of the way. I find it just a little bit frustrating sometimes with a lot of the other YouTube shows that are out there, that it seems to be more about making the dude look good and awesome, rather than actually starring the product, which is what we really care about. It's the product that matters. So what you always find on live shows is you will be able to see me and the products, but in the product reviews, when we're looking at stuff on the channel, it will just be me, or just be the products. And as you can see again, we've got that age-old problem where everyone can hear me in the lobby and there's nothing I can do to shut the Kinect up. Great. So anyone who's in the current lobby, if you want to tune in live on YouTube, you can see yourself racing against me. Awesome. I'm just going to shut up for a minute because obviously it's going to be annoying people.
Fuck you. Fuck you. Oh. Hola, ¿me oyes? A ver. Chao.
Unfortunately, to shut the Kinect up, all we can do is just wait for this stream to wait for this race to start, and then the Kinect will shut itself up. Apologies to everyone who's currently in this Forza 5 lobby, but I'm currently live streaming on YouTube and there's no way to shut the Kinect up, so you all get to hear me as I'm broadcasting. Apologies in advance about that. Not much more we can do, really. Like I say, guys, if you're watching the live stream now, do feel free to subscribe, send this stream on to your friends. If anyone's interested in Xbox One, do let me know in the comments what games you'd like me to check out, or if there's any questions about particular games or the console in general. One who's taking forever to complete this flipping race. Do let me know if there's any problems with the live stream, any problems with the audio, if you can't hear me properly or anything like that, and we can make some tweaks and changes from this side. Don't know about you, but I'm getting slightly bored of waiting. If you're just joining the live stream, we're going to be doing a bit of Forza 5 multiplayer. Once a race begins, it's taking a little bit of time, unfortunately. Always the way. I feel like I should be singing you all a song or something while we wait, but I can't sing. Dum da dum. Maybe I should hum. Can't hum though. So, so just to quickly run through Forza, I suppose then. So Forza 5, latest version of the Forza series. 14 tracks, 80 cars, and in-app purchases. Great. So if you happen to be sucking at the game and you want to buy a bigger, more powerful car, but you can't be bothered to play for it, you can put your hand in your pocket and just buy the car. Great. Not something I agree with in a full price game. Alright, great, so let's have a look. Yeah, let's have that one. We're nearly ready to start, and at that point the Kinect microphone will shut itself up. So if I go onto Accelerator, you can buy these XP boosts as well. And the XP boosts are token based, so real money. You get 100 tokens when you actually get the game, which is enough for a 30-minute XP boost. It's really, really gnarly. And then the actual cost of tokens, look at that, 100 tokens, 79p. So if you wanted to sort of play regularly with a boost, you're probably looking at $3.99 a pop. It's really, really off, in my opinion. Right, race is going to be starting in 20 seconds, good.
That church is with that Celine with like a speed of 9.1.
I'm frustrated. I went to pick my car and nothing loaded. I had like 6 cars available.
Alright, here we go. Le Mans. Probably my favourite track in the game. As I say, do let me know in the comments what game you'd like us to check out next. Come back to a little bit of Forza 5 on request. We also have Dead Rising 3, Battlefield 4, Killer Instinct, and Ryse Son of Rome. But let's do a bit of Forza multiplayer.
Why can't you purchase tokens?
Yeah, I can't purchase.
You can't what? Have you just tried to purchase tokens?
The frustrating thing is they bring this game out and it's like on the first day of release.
And we go.
Cars, it's like, no big deal, right?
All of the driving assists are off other than the braking line, just so I can actually see where I need to be aiming for and where I need to be slowing down, because in these S-Class cars it's quite difficult on this course. Oh, this car is so twitchy. Oh, it's all gone horribly wrong. Ah, that was a poor start on it. Well, just have to see if anyone makes a mistake now and we can pull some places back.
Should pick the car at the highest speed and ping it out.
Yeah, 340. I wanted to start Mercedes because you got about 390, but I don't know why.
That guy, anyone who's got one of those holding the boards, they've got the worst top speed.
Car just doesn't feel like it's going particularly quick here. whining along at the top end. No more acceleration to be found. Oh god, it's so twitchy. Whoa! 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 Xbox, record that. Xbox, record that. Just ignores me half the time. Xbox, record that.
Funny. Yeah.
Yes, excellent. Back to back. S-Class car.
Alright, we'll put a bit of Dead Rising 3 on after this.
That's a decent mod, actually.
Losing that Porsche is like floating in the air behind me in my rearview mirror. Floating in the sky.
That's just
Why are
flash.
they called RUPs?
Because they didn't get the towing license this time.
Oh, okay.
Well, stand Porsche.
Well, at least I'm not in last place anymore. That's something.
Very.
Alright. Maybe I am in last place. Do you know what? To hell with it. Let's play some Dead Rising. So you can see actually when I come back to the dashboard that the game still carries on playing in the background, just with its pause screen up. And then we can just dive over to Dead Rising. Let that load. That Corvette sucks, but it also doesn't help that I have all of the assists turned off and then attempt to do multiplayer. It's usually better to have a couple of the assists on, because if you just make one small mistake, you've got no rewind, and you end up falling massively behind, unless lots of other people make mistakes as well, of course. Oops. Sorry guys, I didn't realise I still had my mic muted. I have literally been talking to myself. What a dumbass. That really was stupid of me. Unfortunately I had another window just covering the comments so I couldn't see it. Sorry about that. I've been doing quite well so far. It's only first time I've managed to mute myself in nearly two and a half, 3 hours. Which is a lot better than I normally manage. So sorry about that, I'm back now. What you basically missed was basically everything about the game. Oh, I'll have to start all over again now. See, it's because it's nearly lunchtime, you see. Oh, no lead pipe. Road barrier. So, the whole idea is lots of zombies, kill lots of zombies, open world game, yada yada yada. You'll have heard all this before. What the bloody hell? Oh no, not these guys. Unfortunately, there's also like humans who work for the army, and apparently in-game they want to kill all the survivors. So even if you survived, then the army is still going to try and kill you, which is great. So you're basically being attacked by zombies and the guys who are meant to be protecting you. Genius. But it does lead to kind of moments where you have to be really, really careful. Right. The thing is, I need to actually be over there. So hopefully you can all hear me again now anyway. Do let me know in the comments if you can't. It does take about a minute or two for the live stream to actually catch up with itself. Just bear that in mind. Oh, I've got no weapon again. So I need to destroy that apparently. And oh Christ. They are very angry soldiers. Ooh. Just trying to find myself something useful. Because ideally what I need is some explosives so I can take out a comms relay. But I'm not finding anything around here. Get off. Power drill. Oh, that's a lot of zombies. Get them over there. It's like herding cats. That's the best way I can kind of put it. Dealing with zombies is like herding cats. Gone the wrong way now. I need to be back down there. I'm going to try a little something to deal with this army installation. I'm going to try and see if I can lure a load of zombies over there and like maybe overwhelm them or something. Who knows? Might work. Alright, I'll save one. Not working particularly well. Ow. I see, then the microphone just kicked in. Right, so we still need... Ah, that could work. I don't think it's going to make any difference. Oh, yeah, it will. Yeah, shot to death. Gutted. Unlucky. Well, guys, look, I'm going to stop there because I need to go and get some food because I am starving. So I really hope you've enjoyed this look at the Xbox One and some of the games that are available for Xbox One. If you want to catch the whole stream again, it will be up on our channel as soon as YouTube has finished processing it, probably around an hour or so. And do stay tuned for future episodes of the live show. Do subscribe. Like and comment as always, and do feel free to get in touch through our Google Plus page or contact me directly on my Google Plus page if you've got any questions or anything you'd like us to cover in future. So really hope you've enjoyed this look at Xbox One with Androidizen. All the best, guys.